In this video, we'll be showing how to extend App Builder to allow the use of a custom plugin. The Ember desktop version being used is version 3.2. We will go through creating a custom plugin, showing how to properly configure the plugin.properties file while simultaneously displaying how that directly affects how it looks in App Builder, and then lastly, explaining how to add custom CLI. The first step to creating a custom plugin is to create a custom plugin folder and add it to App Framework Plugin. In this video, we will use the folder name, Our Custom Plugin. For custom plugins, the naming convention is important, so please try to keep as much consistency as possible. Also, please be aware that the custom plugin will only show in the stacked version of the directory you added the plugin folder to. In the created folder, you will need to add a plugin.properties file, any source files needed, and a CLI.xml if custom CLI is desired. The plugin properties file is used to define multiple important aspects of the plugin, the first two being name and category. For this example, we will be naming our plugin Our Custom Plugin, which is consistent with our folder name of our-custom-plugin. We will also put it under the category utility. These properties directly affect how the plugin will show up in App Builder. As we can see in the Plugins tab of App Builder, each category has all of the stack's plugins listed alphabetically. Our name property dictates what will be displayed as the name and is case sensitive. The category decides which plugin section it will display under. We can also see that some of the properties also affect the plugin's detailed view. The name property is also used as the name of the detailed view. Next, we have properties related to the quality detail. The quality string property can be anything and will correspond to the text for the quality detail. In general, they are related to either production ready, test tool, or requires extending. The quality string, on the other hand, is usually production, test, or an extend in order to display the corresponding icons correctly. However, some less common ones are sample, stub, deprecated, and unknown. Any other value will result in a question mark icon. The description property should be something that describes what your plugin will do. It is often best practice to explain in detail why you picked your plugin's quality property. For example, you may have selected Test Tool because it is not certifiable. Use this property to explain any subtleties or important use cases for your plugin. The description will show up exactly as the property is written in the Detailed Views description box. In our properties, we also need to list any .c files that we will need compiled and linked in. The source files listed this way will be added to the source files expandable list in the plugin information and dependency box of the plugin's detailed view. We can also do this for other details such as implemented callbacks. This property, similar to the source files property, is added to the plugin information and dependencies detail box. Along with implemented callbacks in source files, the library files, library stub files, define callbacks, required plugins, required server clusters, and required client clusters are all set up in the plugin.properties file. The include by default property is a simple Boolean option to determine whether or not the plugin is selected when creating a new blank application or not. In our example, we indicated false. As a result, the checkbox is not selected. The plugin options are a very important property when creating your plugin. While the plugin does not need options for a successful plugin, it is a valuable property for adding easily modified variables to your plugin. Once you determine the structure of each option, you need to determine the name, description, type, and default value for each option. Each of these options will then automatically be created based on the type of option you select. For example, number will create an editable field, Boolean will create a checkbox, and power will create a drop-down menu which different power options are available. Other options are not used in this example are string, EY64, list, key, channels, number array, and file. Our final plugin property to discuss is the events property. This will create two variables which can be used as an event handler and control in your source files. The naming structure of these variables are Ember AF plugin, followed by the plugin's name, event property name, and ending with the event handler or event control respectively. This is the main structure of the plugin.properties file. You may use other plugins' plugin.property files as a starting place for creating your own. Custom command line interface commands can also be created as part of your custom plugin. The first step to this is creating your CLI.xml file. The first option you need to set in the CLI is the group ID. The group section is mainly for documentation, but must be properly named in order for the CLI to work. The ID must be plugin hyphen the name of your plugin. So in this case, plugin-our-custom-plugin. The name and description can be anything at all. In the command section, the CLI will be based on what you will need to type into the console. So in this case, you will want to use plugin, the plugin's ID, followed by the command name. Next is function name. This is related to whatever you will be using as the CLI function name in your source file. After that, you have the group, which must be the same as the ID. For the second description, this will be used as part of the CLI description printed out on your console. Finally, for the arg section, name is whatever your argument is called, the data type is used to determine what kind of argument it is, and the description is used to describe on the console what it is used for. Once you have created your CLI.xml, you can add code to your source file. The source code will use the function name based on what you used in the .xml file. The function Ember unsigned command argument is used to obtain a value based on the argument's index corresponding to the CLI command. When typing in our command to the console, the command name is based on what we put into the XML. It then executes whatever code is in our function. Thank you for watching this video, and good luck creating any custom plugins.